This YCN segment is brought to you by New London Hospital, an affiliate of Dartmouth Hitchcock.
YCN Game of the Week is brought to you by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist. La Valley Building Supply, home improvement and construction from concept to completion. Mascoma Savings Bank, with no shareholders to please, they are committed to remaining independent and to reinvesting profits in our community. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire. Ramonto's in Claremont, always fresh, always delicious. And by Top Stitch Embroidery, the best for your team and so much more.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here in Windsor, Vermont, where at the end of one quarter, no score. Woodstock with the ball, and they have decided to punt it after the timeout, or after the end of the quarter. Coach Worrell decided to punt it, and looks like it might have been a very good decision as it is downed inside the 5-yard line. So after the false start penalty on 4th and 6, false start penalty dropped them back to 4th and long. They decided to punt it away, and they do have a successful punt where Windsor will now take over. 1st and 5 from their 5.
Actually on the 5-yard line. 1st and 10, Windsor.
Stay tuned at the end of our telecast for the HR Clough Kearsarge Heating Turning Up the Heat Player of the Game. We'll choose the team member that had the greatest impact.
So Windsor will take over at their own 5. Long field to go. Senior quarterback Seth Balch calling out the play. Man goes in motion and handoff up the middle. Falls forward for a handful of yards. Jake Tucker,
the ball carrier for
the
Windsor.
senior running back. Gain of just about 4 yards, not quite to the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 9.
Well, I think that's Windsor's probably best offensive play so far. Actually picking up some yards, and hopefully they can get a 1st down and drive down the field. Try to score the game's first points.
Yeah, Woodstock has picked up a couple 1st downs, but none for Windsor. And here we have a nice play, and that'll be their first down as we see number 16, Tucker, running up the middle. Gets through the line of scrimmage untouched and then into the secondary before he's tackled for a big gain, and that'll bring up 1st down from the 20.
Well, Windsor's quarterback, Seth Balch, really sold that first fake handoff well, and that opened up some space for Tucker to run through the hole. Nice job by the Windsor offensive line as well.
Make that the 20.
Balch under center, receiver out far right, 2 running backs behind him. Fakes to the first 2 and then gives it to the 3rd one, Dakota Page, and he was coming from the left side, sweeping across, and it'll be a loss of 3 yards.
Well, I believe that was number 76 on Woodstock, Gabe. Let's see if I can say this right. Marsicoverter. A nice job by number 76 on Woodstock there.
2nd and 14.
He read the fakes and found the guy who actually had the ball and made the tackle for a loss of yards. Nice job by him.
So they'll bring up 2nd and 14 after getting the 1st down. They lose 4 of the yards. Then they'll bring up 2nd and 14. Receiver goes in motion, lines up on the left side. Balch with the pitch to Ryan Ducharme, and he cuts it to the left side, and he's around the edge, and he gains 9 yards, and that'll bring up a nice gain, 3rd and 5.
The 25-yard line.
I believe that was number 24, Trevor Worrell there on the carry. Nice job by him. It looks like a couple of Woodstock defenders were going to tackle him, but he fought through the contact. Picked up about 5 yards on the play, or even more, excuse me, because they were back about 7 or 8 maybe. Nice run by him. Let's see if Windsor can get these 5 yards and continue this drive.
So 3rd and 5. It's obviously too deep in their own territory, so it's not going to be 4th down territory. This will be a try to get the 1st down before they have to punt, and Balch fakes the handoff, drops back. He's got some time as a man, and it's in and out of the hands of Dakota Page.
Yeah, Dakota Page, a very good receiver there, but he was feeling some pressure. A couple of Woodstock defenders right next to him, but yeah, seemed to hit Page right in the hands, couldn't hang on to it. Pretty good throw there by Balch, pretty accurate. Throwing into traffic, but he made a good toss, and Page just couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, there were 3 Woodstock players kind of swarming around the area, but he did have a seam, and he threw it right to Page, who got his hands on it, but couldn't come up with a catch. So that'll bring up 4th and 5, and we have, looks like Balch is still out there. I'm not sure if he's the punter or if they're going to plan to go for it, but either way, timeout on the field to talk it over first before the play begins. So no score here, 9:06 to play in the second quarter. Windsor and Woodstock, the YCN game of the week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill on Lake Sunapee in Newberry Harbor.
Welcome back, YCN game of the week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 4th down and 5 for Windsor, and it appears that they are going to go for it at their own 25-yard line. Balch in the shotgun, and he is going to just get a little pooch punt, and nicely done there, kind of drawing the defense in, thinking they're going to go for it, and then they just punt it over the line, and it's down at the 28-yard line, and that's where Woodstock will take over. So, Andrew, as we were mentioning during the break, both teams struggling to move the ball, but you got to give credit to both these defenses. Really, the front line of both these teams has really done the job and not given up much, if anything. I mean, 2 first downs for Woodstock and 1 for Windsor.
Yeah, well, Woodstock, obviously their offense, more of a running offense, and Windsor, they mix in the pass with a very good quarterback in Balch. But so far, both teams have defended the runs very, very well. Both offenses really have struggled to get any positive yardage at all. There's been a lot of negative plays, so definitely a defensive effort so far.
Sophomore quarterback Trevor White under center for Woodstock. He'll hand it off to the running back, number 45, and we've seen a lot of him, Caden White, so far today, and he'll gain a couple yards, and once again, they'll keep going to him, trying to get the first down.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by Ramontos in Claremont. Always fresh, always delicious. All YCN games are on Facebook Live at YCN News.
Charlie Amato checking in for Woodstock, running off the field, Matt Carlson. 2nd down and 8 for the Wasps. Man in motion here, and the handoff up the middle once again. That's White. He powers forward. Might just be a half a yard short of the first down. He needs to get to the 39. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 38.5-yard line, and it's going to be so close that they'll want to bring the chains in and measure this one. So with just under 8 minutes to go, measurement on the field. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 7:58 to play here in the second quarter of a scoreless game so far, and a defensive battle. We are witnessing 2 teams who have just really clogged up the middle, and the offenses have yet to gain much. Couple first downs for Woodstock, or 3 first downs for Woodstock, 1 for Windsor.
Okay, we'll get underway with
So clock will continue to move. The first down was marked off as the refs had come out to measure on that last timeout. So first down for Woodstock, 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle to White again, and he's met by about 4 or 5 green and gold uniforms.
Today's game is being brought in part by Echo Communications. Call them for all of your printing needs, and thank all of our advertisers for their support.
So 2nd down and 9. He did gain about 1 yard. They'll give him credit for a yard. They need to get to the 48-yard line, it seems, 48, 49-yard line to get a first down. So we'll bring up 2nd and 9 inside 7 minutes. White under center, man goes in motion, and the handoff again goes to Caden White, and after barreling through one defender, he breaks free for the first down just over the 50-yard line.
Nice run there by Caden White, and
At the 49-yard
beat
line,
one tackler and then made a
first
nice
and 10
spin move,
Woodstock.
picked up some extra yardage, and I believe this is the first time either offense has moved past
10-yard
midfield,
run gives
as
the
Woodstock
first
looks to
down.
be on about the 50.5-yard line. Nice job by the Wasps here, actually getting some yardage, moving the ball. Let's see if the Windsor defense can hold up.
Yeah, Woodstock finally able to move the chains multiple times on one drive, and they'll have it here first and 10. Another handoff to White, jumping forward, gaining a couple yards.
Quarterback, and then give it to the inside runner.
Woodstock, first team today to show some signs of life on the offensive side.
On the tackle.
Both teams pretty content to keep it on the ground. Seth Balch for Windsor has aired it out a few times, just has yet to really make any significant completions. We saw one big gain, but it was called back due to an illegal block. So both teams playing pretty conservative in the early going. Trevor White under center. Man in motion, the pitch to Schlabeck. And he is around the corner, and he beats a couple defenders and then dives forward. He's got the first down and more into just about maybe inside the 30-yard line. See where they spot that, but a good gain. And Woodstock looks to be picking up some momentum and moving the ball.
Yeah, the Wasps' running game really starting to come alive here. I think their offensive line is doing a nice job of creating some blocks for their backs. Some good holes for them to run through as well.
So 32-yard line is where they spot it. First and 10, the first really long sustained drive for either team, and this one's Woodstock. A little miscommunication there. Quarterback ran into the running back, 22. Quarterback Trevor White kind of ran into number 12, Jed Asbury, who was going in motion, but the handoff goes for a yard anyway.
Second down and 9.
So a 1-yard gain there, second and 9, ball just outside the 30. Woodstock looking to get in the end zone and go up on the scoreboard. No score so far. White drops back. He's going to throw it for the first time and in and out of the defender's hands. Nice play there, but incomplete.
Yeah, Robert Slocum almost picked that ball, hit him right in the hands,
Bring up a third down.
and he can't believe he didn't make that play. That would have been big for Windsor, stopping Woodstock's drive, but it's third down now. Could be fourth down territory, but we did see the Wasps punt when they were pretty deep last drive, so it's a big third down right here.
Yeah, third and 9, and the first real pass attempt there by White. Man in motion, but before the play, there's going to be a flag. That's going to be a false start, and that'll bump Woodstock back 5 yards and
Motion against Woodstock.
add to their third and 9, make it third and 14, and even more difficult now to pick up. This ball will be spotted at the 36.
If you miss any of our local programs on our 3 YCN network stations, you can always watch our shows and games anytime on our website, ycnnow.com.
Fourth down.
Third and 14 here for the Wasps of Woodstock.
Take that third
Trevor
down.
White under center. Man in motion again. He'll draw back and keep it himself. He'll throw it deep and incomplete. Just overthrown his receiver and 2 defenders. It looked like Seth Balch was in the vicinity.
That brings up
Couldn't come up with the interception. So bring up fourth down, and Andrew, at this point, you got to think the way the defenses have been playing. If you're Woodstock, just pin them deep here. Last 4.5 minutes of the game of the first half.
fourth and
Yeah, I think
15
that's the right call to make, and
4:27
to pick up
remaining.
14 yards now, that would be tough to get. So might as well just push Windsor back as deep as you can. Her offense hasn't been able to do too much, and if you have confidence in your defense, which it looks like
Punt formation.
they do, they're just going to punt it away.
So Asbury will punt from the 44-yard line. Balch calling for the fair catch, but he runs away from it as it bounces into the end zone. So they'll start at the 20-yard line, really only about a 12-yard on the net punting, as the line of scrimmage was the 32-yard line. But either way, Windsor will take over. 4:20 to play at their own 20. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
Good jackpots.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Harris Family Furniture in Plymouth, Laconia, and Chichester.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, 4:20 to play here in the half, no score. Woodstock just punting on 4th down there after having one of the longer drives of the day. Ball, it looks like it's going to be an option. He pitches it, fumble, ball is loose, still loose, and it looks like it's fallen by number 12 for Woodstock, and that's Jed Asbury falls on it.
Number 12.
Wow, huge play for Woodstock. Plenty of time left here, just over 4 minutes left in the half. They've got a good chance to score the game's first points here. Definitely not what Windsor was looking for. Turnover deep down. It's the last thing Windsor wanted. And really, you could kind of tell that play was going to get blown up. It might have been better if Balch had just kind of gone down or thrown the ball out of bounds. It looked like the Wasps were all over that play.
Yeah, it was an option play,
Right.
and really they had no options because he kept it, he would have been sacked.
Yep.
He pitches it. Best case scenario, you lose 3 yards. Worst case scenario, you
Right.
fumble the ball. So it's going to be Woodstock football. Timeout on the field. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. 4:12 to play here in the first half from Windsor, Vermont, where the Woodstock Wasps have just taken possession off the fumble recovery. And right out of the timeout, a flag, it's going to be a false start, and Woodstock has struggled with that today. A couple times they've been penalized. On a couple false starts, they had an offside,
That'll give the Wasps the
or an illegal block,
first
excuse me.
situation.
The offsides penalty early in the game was on Windsor. So Woodstock will regroup, rehuddle up, 1st and 15 now from the 21-yard line. Trevor White under center, Caleb White behind him. Man in motion, the pitch is to Schlabach, and he jukes one man, cuts back inside, and he's going to gain 8-9 yards, well past the line of scrimmage, so he gains the 5 yards back plus a handful more and bring up 2nd down. Nicely done there.
Number 7 on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets.
On a very warm afternoon.
2nd down and 6.
You'd think it was the opening game of the season in
Right.
early September, and it's mid to late October, 70 degrees today. Woodstock looking to punch one in here. 2nd down and 6. And Windsor sideline and crowd trying to get the defense pumped up. Handoff to Caleb White, and he's met at the line of scrimmage by a host of Yellow Jackets. Brought down, loss of a yard, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. We'll see where they mark it, but it'll bring up 3rd down.
Leading the tackle, along with Duncan Fraser.
Next week's YCN Game of the Week will feature a Vermont high school football semifinal game. Check local listings for teams and air and replay times.
3rd down.
So 3rd down and 7. Loss of 1 yard on that play. Clock moving inside 3 minutes in a scoreless first half here. Both teams have not been able to move the ball. Give credit to the defenses. Man in motion. Schlabach takes the handoff. He's going to go up the middle and falls forward for the touchdown. Micah Schlabach with the touchdown, and Woodstock is on the board with the 15-yard touchdown run.
Nice run there by Schlabach.
14-yard touchdown.
Had a couple of defenders hit him and made some contact, but he was able to keep his momentum forward. Ran through and got the touchdown, put Woodstock on the board, taking the lead. And off of that big fumble recovery by the Woodstock defense. Touchdown off of that. And if you're Windsor during halftime, that's what you got to tell your team. You know, if we didn't fumble that ball, it would have been still 0-0. And it looks like Woodstock's going to try to go for 2 here.
Trevor White under center. He'll hand it off up the middle, and it is no good. So the 2-point conversion is no good, but the 15-yard touchdown run puts the Wasps up 6-0 with 2:24 to go before the half. We'll take a break. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by La Valley Building Supply and Middleton Building Supply.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide here in Windsor, Vermont. 2:24 to play before halftime. Woodstock has just gone on top 6-0 thanks to the 15-yard touchdown run after the fumble recovery. And Andrew, you were talking, these defenses have been so lights out that that's what it takes is one mistake, and Windsor committed one, and just like that, it's 6-0. So now Windsor will receive the kickoff, and it's a short kick, fielded at the 31-yard line, and that one will go to number 52, Josh Gaudette. So Windsor will take over, trying to put something on the board, a touchdown or a field goal before the half. Windsor will receive the second half kickoff.
Windsor's 32, 1st and 10, 2:21 remaining.
So Windsor, if you're Windsor right now, you want to either score here before the half or just run the clock down. You don't want to give Woodstock a chance. Could get the 2-for-1 here if you can score here and then get the ball, but you're at least trying to keep Woodstock out of the end zone again. Balch fakes the handoff, drops back. He's got plenty of time, looking deep. He's got a man covered and then intercepted by Charlie Amato. He was looking for Dakota Page, underthrown, and Charlie Amato steps right up and gets the interception for the Wasps.
Well, Balch throwing into, looked like at least double coverage. There were a lot of Woodstock defenders around that ball, and Balch right now kind of holding his right shoulder a little bit, favoring it. Hopefully he's okay. I don't know if that affected that throw at all, but Balch, not a smart throw. I mean, a turnover was the last thing he wanted. Just wanted the clock to run down and go into the locker room with a 6-0 game.
And on the first play of the drive, they turn it over, give it back to Woodstock, and Schlabeck there again with the run, a couple yards. And right now, Windsor senior quarterback Seth Balch, 2 uncharacteristic mistakes. He really is obviously leading this team to an undefeated season, 24 touchdowns, 15 passing, 9 rushing, but struggling here a little bit today, underthrowing his receiver there, and then earlier pitching it when he probably should have held on to it. But give credit to Woodstock. They've played good defense, got a chance to double it up and get one in here before halftime. Handoff Schlabeck again, and he's tackled, but he's able to fall forward for a couple yards, and that'll bring up 3rd and 4.
YCN is now affiliated with the Heroes and Icons Network, drawing from timeless classics as well as more contemporary TV. All eyes are on H&I.
So 3rd and 4, they need to get to the 40-yard line for a first down. 3rd and 4 as we approach 1 minute to play in this first quarter. Crowd trying to get behind the Yellow Jackets. And held by Trevor White, and then he throws it deep, and it falls incomplete. As Page was there to try and knock it away. Trevor White got it away to avoid the sack, but it comes up incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down and 4. 50 seconds to play here in the first half.
Nice job by the Windsor defense, applying pressure to the quarterback, but probably not a smart throw there by Woodstock's QB. He's lucky that ball didn't get intercepted, really, and probably just should have grounded it or thrown it out of bounds. He's lucky he didn't get sacked as well.
Jed Asbury back to kick, kicks it from his own 45, a nice high punt, angled to the left side, but it won't quite die before it gets to the end zone where Windsor will take over at the 20-yard line, 42 seconds to go. We'll take a final timeout here in the first half. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.
This YCN segment is brought to you by Lake Sunapee Visiting Nurse Association and Hospice.
Welcome back, YCN Game of the Week. Final 43 seconds here in the first half. Windsor, quarterback Seth Balch under center. He'll just hand it off, or he does hand it off. Fakes to the first man, then gives to Ryan Ducharme on the second man. Cutting around to the left side. He gains a few yards, but not quite enough. Doesn't go out of bounds, so the clock continues to move.
About 3-yard gain,
second down and 7. Windsor looks to be content to let this clock run down into halftime and just go into the halftime locker room down only 6-0. Balch under center.
And that will end.
And it does not look like he's going to get a play off. They're calling a timeout on the field. The ref kind of signaled before the clock hit triple zeros.
There was a time called out with
So timeout was called.
Reset the clock.
Not sure who called that one. If you're Windsor, I don't know why you want to run one more play and risk anything happening. And if you're Woodstock, you're up 6-0. No point in letting Windsor try and go for it. So interesting timeout call there, but we'll keep it right here. Andrew, decent first half if you like the defensive battles. No score for most of the half, and then with 2:24 to go in the first half, Woodstock punches it in. They go up 6-0.
Yeah, both defensive lines have been very solid, penetrating the other offensive line, and nice job by them containing the run for the most part on the day. And Woodstock's running game has been stronger. Obviously, they marched down the field, and they were also able to score that touchdown off of that fumble recovery. That was big for them. But both defenses looking very sharp here. And really, if Windsor's offense didn't fumble that ball, this could be a tie game, 0-0 going into the break. So, very competitive game. I am a fan of a little bit more offense, some more kind of skilled, good-looking plays, but defense has been very solid, and it's a very competitive game.
So out of the timeout, Windsor will line up in the shotgun. Balch with the receiver far out to the right side, and the other 9 players bunched near the line. Fake handoff, and then he gives it to Trevor Worrell, who breaks free a couple tackles, but he ends up being tackled in the middle of the field as Woodstock had plenty of defenders back. They weren't going to let a late touchdown beat them there. So at halftime here in Windsor, Vermont, we have a score of 6-0. Woodstock on top. We'll take a break and come right back with the second half. You're watching the YCN Game of the Week.